Live from Luca Nation. Welcome back to episode 722 of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze. Oh my! And really, I'll start off with two things. First thing, shout out to the dads out there because without you guys, we would be nothing, man. And specifically me, without my dad, I would have been lost this week. And I'm moving into a 2-bedroom place. I had to install. See that light right there? We had to install that. He installed it in 5 minutes. I don't even know how to even install the light. So shout out to all the dads, all the people out there that could, do things with their hands. Incredible. Second shout out, Cage, to our Luca Nation fans. We hit record listeners, both on audio and video this week. And insert kind of like the GIF here. I'm not worthy. I feel that way, but for some reason, you guys tune in and you enjoy whether that's the repertoire and the banter of Shake Shack versus McDonald's. You guys like that, or Shaq versus Kobe.
What did they say? You always ask them for their comments. What were the comments on that? Did people think Shake Shack is just like McDonald's? Were they with you on that? What did they say?
So here's the thing, you have a certain set of specific skills like Liam Neeson where you were trained, I think maybe by the CIA, in this way of communicating where even if you're so vehemently wrong, our audience agrees with you. So most people agreed that Shake Shack and McDonald's are two different categories, two different classes. I could prove them wrong with facts, figures, all that stuff. Doesn't matter.
Here's the thing.
It doesn't matter.
If you could have a Shaq burger or a Kobe burger, which kind of burger would you have?
Kobe. Shaq's too fat.
So you think the Shaq burger is a little fatty?
Yeah,
you don't mind.
It's like 50-50 fat. I want 80-20.
Shaq actually has his BMIs. I mean, when he was in shape, he was actually in very good shape.
No, when he was young.
Yeah.
Not in shape, young. Youth is not in shape because.
So we're going to get too far off kilter. I was going to add a joke in there, but you would just always take it like Shaq's fat, youth is not in shape. There's a whole deal. But finalize on my joke was you like onion rings on your burger. Kobe's comes with more rings than Shaq. I'll see. I'm going to do that. I'm pretty sure that was a Jimmy Kimmel joke when Shaq was on there. He talked about like Shaq has a burger place. And he's like, you got a Kobe burger and a Shaq burger.
Mr. Beast has a burger place too?
Yeah, I've had it. Actually, it was very good. It's a good burger. But you know what I like better than the burger? They have this is like, I can't believe I'm dieting now and I'm going to talk about this. I don't want to eat it so bad. I'm so fat. But I loved it. It's tater tots, nachos. So it's like instead of doing like nachos Bel Grande, with like the sour cream and the cheese and all the stuff on top of chips, they do it on tots. It's fantastic. It's good.
Anything with tots is amazing.
I mean, give me one of your tots, Napoleon.
Here's a fun fact. If you guys have air fryers, buy frozen tots, and instead of in the oven, make tots in the air fryer infinitely better.
Okay, no.
Yeah, 100%.
No, nothing that can be fried with oil is better being fried with air. It is the fat guy science.
Cage, the frozen tots have oil. It's like it's seeped into their pores. Air fryer gets the pores out of the tots.
You worry about your pores. I'm going to fry my tots with regular oil, not air.
You and my dad actually have a lot more in common than you think, Cage. So yesterday, or 2 days ago, was our record listen episode and record listen week. And I think 20-minute mark, you're like, what are we talking about? 40-minute mark, you're like, dude, what is this guy talking about? And 60-minute mark, we've gone off to left field.
Yeah, but you at the 60-minute mark, I'm like, I have no idea what's episode about. You're like, we could go for 2 hours. And I'm like, please no.
Please no. He says that to me at least twice a week. He's like, Andrew, explain this to me, because I don't know what the hell you're talking about right now.
It happens. But people love it. The best part is it's like 75 minutes in and you're like, this is a good one if you're at the gym. I was like, I wanted to say this is a good one if you're standing on a bridge.
I don't know. I think I make sense. So anyway, Cage.
I think you make all the sense in the world. all the sense in the world. I'm able to understand it like 99% of the time, which is really all that matters.
If you're in the right mood. Sometimes my shit is way too heady.
That's true. And I'm not in the mood for that. It's the hobby. Sometimes I'm heady. Sometimes I'm not.
I met up with a friend today. I took a family to Miami. It was kind of like an off day. Ariel flew out to SF for like a one month, post graduation trip. My dad's here. He's flying out in the morning, and that buddy's a card collector.
Ooh.
Collector's keyword. Not an investor. Not someone who flips a lot. He buys long term. And we were talking out. I wanted to what advice would I give to someone who was bludgeoned by crypto and buying cards right now? Like, what advice? And I think, and I'm curious to hear what your thoughts is.
Buy a logo, man.
Was it, and I was thinking, how do I categorize, by player, by era, by what? And here's a theory. I think that there are opportunities of legends of the game, like true legends, like a top, like a LeBron, a Jordan, a Gretzky, that Matana Rice, that have been double dipped, that have been crushed by the market and oversold. And I think if you find those deals, that's where you look. Do you agree, disagree, thoughts?
Agree 100%. We've talked about this a couple times. It's almost like, you throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Things they get pulled up when things don't belong being pulled up when the market's going well, a la silvers and base and all that other crazy stuff. Top Shot, NFTs, you name it. But there are quality assets that also get pulled down in the, when the tide is pulling it down, right? Shit coins pull down good coins. There will be NFTs that survive this. There'll be ones that don't. And right now, some of them are at a bargain. Same thing with cards. I've talked about it with LeBron a bunch of times. I mean, the true GOATs, the ones that will bounce back first, right? The right cards. I'm not saying go out there and buy, high pop stuff just because it's got LeBron on it. You need to look no further than the most recent Prism Basketball Silver. You know what I mean? Of LeBron, the 2019, not 2020, not the one with his little dunking Kobe tribute. Remember his first Lakers Prism? So that silver was $1,000 card.
People were chasing that card. People forget that was like I think the base was $100 in a 10, right?
Yeah, and the silver was 4 figures, and now I think the silver is 100, maybe. And I mean, so not every card with LeBron, but the cards, and we talked about this with Kobe East Coast. We've talked about it with several guests. It's think about, all right, the market may not be great right now, but when it's good again in 6 months, a year, 2 years, or 5, what are the cards that are scarce? And when people have money, they're going to chase. Those are the ones you should try to get into now. That's my thought.
If you guys are out there, and we're not going to list every card ever, but it's not just in the higher echelon either. I'll give you an example. One of the cards that maybe the coolest card I've bought that I can remember in the last year, it was on PWCC Weekly. It was a $78 card. It was a game-worn LeBron in a Heat uniform, 2010 gold standard, out of $299.
Wow. That's pretty nice.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah,
that's not a card that needs to be pulled down that much. You just saw that logo man sold
at $78. Can't really go much lower.
And I think that there's more of those are out there. I don't think it has to be $1,000. Don't think it has to be a refractor BGF 10 of LeBron. There are opportunities of cards that have got pulled down that might have been a $500 card that someone's liquidating. That's a $96 card, and you're like, what the F? I think there are more opportunities out there. It takes effort. It does take digging. It takes effort, but it also takes having the criteria, in my opinion, to know what to look for.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious what a card like, I mean, not the rarest thing in the world, but I'm trying to think of, ones that we've talked about that were, less than $1,000, ran when it was good and now have come down. The Mariano Rivera 92 Bowman comes to mind. The 89 score Barry Sanders comes to mind. These are not cards that are rare, but they're cards of GOATs. They're easily recognizable. They ran a lot when everybody was chasing everything. They've come down with the market coming down. And you would like to think those are cards that most likely will, once the going gets better, will go up. I own one of each. Those are ones I've kind of held on to.
I'll go. We'll keep popcorning. Giannis autos. Giannis full card autos. I think those are incredibly undervalued. Incredibly undervalued. And those got pulled down so much. Those are two. I think Giannis is someone that might have got crushed 3 times, right? Because he had that
So now
unceremonious.
you're switching it a little bit, right? Because you said by goats. And I know you love Giannis, but I wouldn't put him in a GOAT category just yet. Now we're moving into the guys who still have potential, significant upside, but also potentially have some downside, albeit less downside than they had before this went down. So you're moving into like chapter 2 of our inflation, macroeconomic turmoil playbook for cards. And you have to if we're not just saying your own style.
I said legends, by the way.
Legends still. I mean, Giannis is not exactly a legend, except maybe in his own mind and yours. He's great.
I don't know why I am so bullish on Giannis, and I don't think the market is there on him.
There's nothing wrong with it, though. I mean, here's if I had unlimited cash. What's funny is we've talked about several times the Prism Silver PSA 10 and how it was between 20 and 30. And, when it came under 25, like, oh, it's a bargain if he wins again. It's I think it was the last PWCC premiere, a BGS 10 of his Prism Silver sold for just over 20. That's a BGS 10, not a PSA 10. Like,
under 20?
No, about 20, like maybe 21-ish, something like that. Take a look. You can take a look. You pull up PWCC on it if you want. I know because I was bidding on it, but obviously it's not something I won. I don't have unlimited resources. But that's a card that, when next season comes around, if the market is looking a little bit better and he's making a playoff run, and we're talking again about Giannis and the Bucks maybe, winning his second ring, and maybe he wins an MVP, and who the heck knows. Now that BGS 10 is moving back in that direction,
What excites me about Giannis, he kind of checks out. He's still very young, Cage. He's 27, going on 28 in the hype in the prime of his career. He's somewhere where I think he's revered. I really do believe he's globally revered. I think
he'll stay relevant, right?
I think his best days are still in front of him too.
There's a Disney documentary around him, and that didn't really help his price of his cards. I mean,
Cage,
The Last Dance
is an anomaly, and it was during a bull run where everyone was at home. It seems more like an anomaly. It's hard for anything media related to push up a card when there's a lot of fear in the kind of climate right now, where I think even people are thinking it might get worse, not it might get better. Like, I think if you polled, randomly 10,000 people who are in markets active, I think you would get 60 to 70% saying that by the end of the year, assets, crypto stocks, that stuff will get worse and cost of living will go higher than the reverse. Of course, none of us know, but I think actually kind of like census polls like that short term do give you a little bit of a feel, because the market and the economy is just an aggregate of all the participants in it.
Consumer sentiment.
There you go.
That's what you're talking about. And yeah, I think you're right about it. I mean, that those polls aren't always right, and they don't always, dictate what does happen. But yeah, I mean, if you find out that most people are concerned and they're stockpiling cash and they're not spending, then usually those habits will have a way of trickling down. I think Lamine might have posted something today about, like, an inflation-proof economic, what do you do? And it was like, cancel your cable bill, sell collectibles. You know what I mean? It was like right on the list, so.
You wear a lot of hats these days, Cage. You wear a lot of hats these days. Oh. I think you found it interesting. You found like a fountain of youth when it comes to technology with what you're doing. You're making videos, you're editing, you're creating memes. Your Fanatics one with the guy throwing
it's like gasoline on the fire.
It made me laugh. So I think another box that should be checked is I think 2010 to 2015, 2014 Panini era is very interesting play. It's sort of reminds me maybe of like 96 Topps Chromish era, when you don't get a ton of the best stuff printed. You see, that's where the demand was culminated, and then they started printing it, 2017 on. I think there's an interesting opportunity searching from 2010 to 2015.
I mean, we once talked about the 2012 Flawless. as a potential like iconic set. You can buy autos from there, the whole deal. I wonder whether or not I think it's 2009 or the '09 National Treasure set will also potentially hold some sort of significance. You know what I mean? Like the RPAs out of 99 or the limited ones that are in there. Obviously, Curry is Curry, but there are other rookies there that don't carry the same weight as Curry does. I mention this because, those first sets, right? The 2012 Prism, right? That carries the gold, right? It doesn't matter if it's George Mikan and it's a PSA 8, it's a four-figure card. I wonder if, those Panini, firsts of the major sets will ultimately have some sort of, additional value to people, to collectors. That was the first National Treasures, like that kind of thing. Despite the fact that if you go back to 2011, the year before National Treasures came out, Leaf came out with a set called National Pride. But it was a little different. It was sort of about like the countries that fighters were from.
You know that Cajun seventh. I love our dynamic. A lot of people don't always see kind of what's behind the curtain. In 722 episodes, I've only got stood up on an episode once, and you know who it was by? Actually, twice, I think.
Who?
Same guy, the CEO of Leaf.
Ryan Gray.
Yeah.
Really? Gray, if you're listening to this, man, I give your cards props literally all the time. That 2011 Leaf Metal MMA, I believe that was, it was probably made by the same Chromium company, but I believe that is a precursor to 2012 Prism. The cards look the same, basically. And I think you came up with National Pride, which has been basically, stolen, the National Pride cards. Shogun just lost the belt, should have won, got beat in the last minute. He was the one who got Shogun's first autograph, Mauricio Shogun Hua. Dubronx, Charles Oliveira, you know who he is, right? You would just watch his fight. That's a champ. He got his first auto also. They were the 2010 Leaf set, like rapper redemptions, basically, for those cards. You got Alistair Overeem, the Demolition Man's first auto. There was some groundbreaking stuff he did there. I give a lot of credit. And you stood up my man Andrew twice. What's that about, Gray? We'll see him at National, I'm sure. He's always got stuff going down.
Honestly, no hard feelings. It's more busy. I really don't care that much. I don't hold it against people either, because dude, that shit comes up, and sometimes you might want to come on, and we run our mouths a lot. We speak our mind, and they could totally understand. And happy to have you on at any time. A lot of fire sales. Everyone's trimming the fat. What's that about?
I am down 40 pounds. Trim the fat. It's that type of season, It's a trim the fat season.
It's a trim the fat season. Beachbody in cards.
I'm doing it in the lead up to the National. I think people are doing it with their collections in the lead up to the National too. People are trimming their fat, maybe stockpiling a little bit of cash. So there are some bargains out there. Maybe people are not spending now because they're hoping to maybe find something, make a deal, do a deal at National. So I think that might be part of the reason why in the 30, 60-day lead up, you don't see
flip that from last year where most people weren't buying. I think most people were like, these prices are fucking high.
Well, it's funny when we talk to collectors and they're like, yeah, I'm going to a show, but I know, I'm not going to get the card that I want at the show because the people at that show know how much they're worth. You know what I mean? So, I guess it depends what you're looking to do. It depends on what you're looking to do, right? It depends what you're looking to buy. I would imagine that, if you are a collector, we'll use that phrase, right? If you're a collector and you collect a certain player and you don't just want to buy the National Treasure RPA out of 99 or the Exquisite, and you're okay with buying cool cards of that person for your PC, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of bargains on that type of card, collectible, you name it. Set builders will probably find bargains. The top cards, people are going to be charging top dollar for it. I have a question for you.
Please.
Did you get a ride yet in the Backyard Breaks Lamborghini? I know you're in Florida. Did you see the Lamborghini? The whatnot Lamborghini? That's pretty sweet. It says Backyard Breaks on the side of it. And did you get a ride? Yes? I want to see a video. Come on, man. Were you the guy wearing the V for Vendetta mask? Were you wearing the mask?
Love V for Vendetta. Remember the 5th of November.
I mean, or
I
September.
would say that's an all-time movie. Like, honestly, I would put that top 10 for me.
Really?
Yeah, I'd really like V for Vendetta.
Is it because you are a Natalie Portman fan?
No, not really a Natalie Portman fan. A little pretentious for me, actually, to be quite honest.
Someone once told me she's Israeli.
Yeah, went to Harvard, I think.
So you like that movie? Why? Because like blowing shit up?
I have a bit of anarchy in me.
Anarchy.
I do well. I sometimes we have these like emotional homes in our lives. I realize like where that you grew up and you feel comfortable in this place. Like some people's is anger, people's joy. Some people, mine is chaos. Sometimes I create chaos in my life and pick fights and I push buttons just because I was sort of raised in our family and extended family was going through chaos when I was growing up. So I think that is my emotional home.
Is that Anarchy 99 against Mother Russia?
Anarchy 99.
Do you know what it's from? I may have to.
Yes, I do. It's from Bad Boys. Is when they spell
No, it's not.
Oh, Triple X.
Yeah, you got it. All right, it took you 2 tries, but you got it. Well done. The movies.
Crazy Nestor Cortez. So what we found here, Luca Nation, is a
nasty
new revenue stream for Lucas Tigers and Bronze. Cage is now walking billboard. Well, who bought you that shirt and where did you get it?
My friend Al bought this. Yeah, you know, I mean, he's a good sport. He's a Red Sox fan, but even he has to bow down to Nasty Nestor and the season he's having. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome, Nasty Nestor.
He's having
an awesome season.
Take the next 60 seconds. I'll go on mute. Take the next 60, 90 seconds. Be a pundit for the Yanks. Give me your kind of your.
All right. If I were a betting man, a line came out. I think Rovell posted it about Aaron Judge.
Rovell.
Yeah, I think Darren Rovell posted it. I think he posted it. I mean, it's not great odds, but I think it was like plus 300 or minus 400 whether Judge breaks 61 home runs, Maris's Yankee record. And I would lay the 400 that he's not going to do it for a myriad of reasons. Number one, we've already seen that people who hit a lot of home runs, same as Ohtani last year, people who have 30 by the All-Star break, average 15 or 16 and change in the second half. We saw Ohtani not get to 50, not even get to, anywhere near the numbers that people thought he was going to get to. Same thing will happen with Judge. And even if he continues to hit home runs, even if he stays healthy, if he doesn't miss any time, which is a big if with him, given his history, you have to think the Yankees are, I think, like 55-20 or 50. I mean, just like some crazy number, 30-something games above 500 already. They're going to lock up the playoffs. They're going to probably run away with their division. And towards the end, they're probably going to let him rest a little bit too, because you're going to want him healthy and ready to go for.
Is there any sport that benefits teams more than baseball, where you get so locked in and you get so far ahead, you get to kind of experiment? Like even as a pitcher, now you get to use real game to try and experiment, right? You're a little bit less pressured now. Real game situations become kind of like exhibition.
Yeah, sort of. They can, they can test out a bullpen guy. They can, somebody can work on a pitch. They can, bring up their bench guys. Sure, there's definitely a lot of room there if you have enough of a lead. Nobody can catch you. But I mean, it's the same thing at the end of the basketball season. If somebody's the 1 seed and they have home field advantage locked up, or you see the NFL, usually the last week or two, they play their backups because they've already locked up where their position is in the playoffs. So, but yeah, for a myriad of reasons, I don't think. Plus, he's also gone a little cold. I mean, he's hit 4 home runs in his last, I think, 17 games. But
baseball is just such the ultimate team sport. Like it just is the ultimate. You could only do so much. And that cohesion of you come together as a team. I just think baseball is so fascinating from a mental standpoint.
So can I tell you why, right? So and think about this for a second. It is also one of the biggest weaknesses for baseball as a spectator sport. All right, so let's go through all the major sports. In even golf, in
rhythmic gymnastics,
basketball, all right, you have a lineup. You have 5 people there at the last minute. When it's time to make a shot to win the game, you have Luka on your team. Luka takes the shot. You have Jordan on a team, Jordan takes a shot. You have LeBron on your team, Danny Green takes the shot. You understand? You can figure out exactly who you want to take the shot at the end of the game. You set up a play, and obviously LeBron more often than not takes the shot. I apologize to LeBron for taking my shot at him there, but the point is you can put the ball in the hands of your best player by design to win the game. You give your team the best chance to win by putting it in the hands of their best player. Football. There's a reason why people love watching football. Same reason why we like watching that last 2 minutes of basketball, because you know that on those sets, the best player, Curry's going to shoot, LeBron's going to shoot. In football, you have a back and forth Mahomes, Josh Allen. The quarterback's going to touch the ball every play. They're going to put the ball in the hands of their playmakers, the big money guys. They put in soccer, right? You got guys who score and you got guys who play defense. And if it's penalty kick time, you line it up. Who's going to take your kicks? Who's the best penalty kicker the whole 9 yards? You set it up. Who's going to kick? Who's going to go? Hockey, right? Same thing. You have lines. You have first line, second line. You can mess those lines up. And you also have people who are on the front line who will score. You got defensemen. Baseball, you can't hide. It is wherever in the ninth inning, whoever comes up and gets a hit. It may be the bottom of your order. It may be the top. It may be the middle of your order. That is what I believe makes it a team sport. It also,
I think they should do 8th and 9th inning. I think 8th and 9th inning, you should get to pick your next 6 batters.
Well, I mean, you could do it for like extra, right? But that's almost like home run. Like once it gets to extra innings, like if it's a tie game, you can put up whoever you want. Like you can rearrange your lineup. You can do 8th and 9th too. If
you mess it up.
Yeah, I mean, it is a huge change, but I think people would want to see it more. You know what I mean? It changes the entire game of baseball. You're giving the best players more at bats, and then their overall numbers are skewed and all that other fun stuff, right? So
baseball is such a statistics history sport, like.
Yep, that's the deal. So I mean But I think from a spectator standpoint, if you knew in a close game, no matter what, Aaron Judge was going to get in a bat in the 9th inning, people would tune in. People wouldn't fall asleep after 2 hours of the game. You know what I mean? So from a spectator standpoint, yeah. From a team sport standpoint, I'm with you. I think baseball is the ultimate team sport. Right now, the Yankees pitching staff is overperforming. From Nestor to Tyone to whoever else. They had like a 6th starter come up yesterday, and he pitched 5 2/3 scoreless. And the Yankees held on to beat Oakland 2-1, I think. They're just overperforming. I'm sure they're going to come back to earth. They're going to have a situation where maybe somebody gets hurt, or maybe they start losing some. They managed to split the series with Houston. You got to figure that's going to be probably a playoff series that could potentially be your American League Championship, and that's exciting stuff because Houston seems to have had the Yankees' number in the last couple of years, and it's banging garbage pails, it's stealing signs, it's cheaters on both sides of the dime.
But that's what you want to see. You want to beat the guys that have kind of taken your lunch the last few years. You want that.
It's funny, right? I'll say something about something, and in the comments I'll get back, well, what about when you did this, this, and this? And it's amazing how people are willing to overlook things and forget about their own things when it benefits them. And Marwin Gonzalez, I get comments from people who don't like the Yankees, and they're like, "You like Marwin Gonzalez?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's a utility guy. He's been a great Yankee." And they're like, "Well, he was like one of the lead guys in the Astros cheating thing, but now that he's a Yankee and winning games for you, it doesn't matter." You know what I mean? Now he's my cheater. So it's funny how you're willing to look the other way when they're winning games for you. It gives you a different perspective on all of it, I guess. So
something I've been thinking about.
Shoot.
So, I see these accounts, 80,000 followers, 50,000, 25. Man, these guys
2,714.
And I think part of the reason why, if you guys saw our listener numbers, our viewer numbers, our Instagram, why it's just like a consistent, up, but you don't see any of that. How much have we spent on advertising? Someone asked me that today, the collector friend.
And when you told them 0, what'd they say?
I don't even know what advertising is. Like, I don't know how, and it's like, I see how, I understand, I know the concepts, but like, I don't know how to run Facebook ads, or
We're not really even on Facebook, are we?
Right, or Instagram ads like sponsored posts, giveaway like for like, all that stuff. But
Promote it
promote it,
on andrewgoldberg.com.
But I do think the reason why we hit record numbers is I think people, one, they know that we're sincere, that we kind of, well, even the companies that we are sponsored by, we do our best to be sincere and give flowers and praise when they're doing well. And guys, like, what the F type of stuff, shed light. So that's one. We've walked away for money. We walked away. And a lot of you guys know we've walked away for money. This has not been like a fruitful year for me. So we've walked away from money and it affects us. So it says that. Then the third thing is, I think that if you kind of trace back the lineage of when people say stuff or, where something comes from, a lot of times it comes from us. It comes from, we see things a little bit before many of the other accounts do. And I'm so surprised that this hasn't been talked about. And I don't actually know if this will come to fruition, but I think this should be worthy of a discussion. A Westbrook for Kyrie trade.
Yeah.
Why is no one talking about that? How hilarious would it be to reunite Westbrook and Durant? Reunite LeBron and Kyrie. Their contracts are similar. They're not crazy off.
Go one step further. I mean, Harden hasn't opted in yet, I don't think. So you can reunite them all. Hell, bring back Serge Ibaka. I mean, I definitely have heard that for the Lakers because it is the only way that really makes sense because of the contracts almost matching up. And yeah, I've heard a couple folks talking about it today on ESPN. It would make sense. I got to tell you, neither team wants the guy. I've heard that Westbrook doesn't.
Neither team wants what guy?
Either of the guys. So I heard Kyrie and Nash got into it, and that Kyrie was at Nash. I mean, there was a post today. Obviously, it's all rumor mill, but something about he asked Nash whether or not he could look at Kobe's MVP trophies and stuff. Some crazy thing about him being like disrespectful and like it's an irreparable difference between coach and player in Brooklyn and obviously Westbrook. I mean, I heard the Lakers are bringing in Skip Bayless as like a new GM to handle Westbrook.
There's two things there. So if you guys go back, you could search this. When Kyrie first went to Brooklyn, first off, which podcast told you that would be a disaster? This one right here.
Just you, not me, you. Because I thought it would work. Because I'm a fantasy sports player. I'm like, wow, you add all these guys together. That's a championship right there.
But Kyrie had some things to say. Like, he's like, I wish I was consulted about the hire. I would have, like, Nash is as good a point guard as there ever was. Yeah, I know he never won a championship, but Nash was an incredible point guard and should be respected, especially from someone like Kyrie. If he worked with Nash, I think they would benefit each other. I think Nash has some skills that could benefit Kyrie from a vision, passing, and leadership perspective. A lot of you guys might not have known this, but Nash was a huge high fiver. And they I know that sounds funny, but like high fiving, they've traced that back. It's teams that win and high five each other. Teams that win are teams that high five each other the most, and teams that don't win are teams that don't do that.
Is that a chicken or the egg kind of thing, though? I mean, if you're losing, there's not really a reason to high five.
Again, I bring you guys the anecdotes. You guys could go and use the Googler and find the data and test it. A lot of this stuff is theories, but here's another thing that, as much as the criticism Westbrook gets, imagine being in one of the biggest sports markets, getting criticism for an entire year, basically getting blamed, even though this is LeBron's team and Anthony Davis. And he showed up, man. He never quit on that team, not once. Not once, man. He played. He competed. He didn't take days off. He didn't say, rest day or mental health or anything like that.
Load management.
I think that demands a little bit of respect. Like, I think we could question someone's performance, but also understand that, hey, dude, the guy did not quit on his team. And that is something you want in a teammate. Yeah,
but it looked like he forgot how to play basketball for a minute there.
But that's okay, dude. I think let me rephrase.
Not for someone who's making $40 million. It's not okay.
How much? Is the NBA so much like 96% talent and performance that being a good teammate doesn't matter?
Well, they could have Alex Caruso to be a good teammate.
They got rid of him.
What I mean? I know, which is part of the reason, and I'm bringing him up specifically for a reason because they kind of fell apart. And you don't need your $50 million man to be a good teammate. You need him to score 20 points a game and run the second team or be your third option or be your second option when street clothes doesn't get out there. By the way, I saw a very funny meme. I forget who the hell it was, but it was LeBron, Westbrook, and Anthony Davis, and it was the three of them. Like LeBron was really old, like it was like the Uncle Drew version of LeBron. Westbrook had a brick. He was trying to brick up, but the best one was Anthony Davis was in a wheelchair dressed as Mr. Glass. From the Unbreakable movies, like you know who Mr. Glass is, right? You've seen that? Oh no. Oh my God, it's Samuel Jackson. He like falls down the stairs and breaks 100 bones in his body. He's got like a condition.
Not going to be a popular take. Samuel L. Jackson annoys me. Way too loud and obnoxious.
How the hell have you gotten through 725 episodes with me?
You're funny. Right. He's not that funny for me. Pulp Fiction, he was very good. Pulp Fiction, he was phenomenal. But why are there snakes on this motherfucking line? Like, I don't know, snakes on this mother. Stop. Relax, Samuel. But dude, he's accomplished. He's just not my flavor of the week. I apologize.
That movie was great, by the way. Snakes on a Plane.
But dude, I love Eddie Murphy, and my buddy said the same thing. Like, why is this guy always yelling?
Eddie Murphy or Samuel Jackson?
Yeah. Eddie Murphy. I love Eddie Murphy. Though. Beverly Hills Cops. I think I could watch those.
1, 2, 3. What's the best one?
I like 2 for some reason.
2's
with
good.
With that woman with like the blonde hair, short hair.
Brigitte Nielsen.
Swede.
You don't know who that is?
Not personally. I think I might meet up with her here in Boca though.
I don't think you'd want to now. An interesting, career for her. In Rocky IV, she played Drago's wife.
Makes sense.
While actually being the wife of Sylvester Stallone. That was Sylvester Stallone's wife, Brigitte Nielsen. And talk about a fall from grace.
Danish.
She then was romantically linked from a reality television standpoint, at least, to Flavor Flav from Public Enemy. You've just happened upon Brigitte Nielsen, and if anybody out there has some Brigitte Nielsen autograph cards, I will happily take them from you because there you go, Sylvester Stallone.
Look at these creeper guys in the back just eyeing her up. Look at the stash she stashes in.
She was one of the bad guys in Beverly Hills Cop, and it led to a funny line. It's like, have you seen a 6-foot blonde around here? Like, it's Beverly Hills. They're on every corner. There you go. Now put Brigitte Nielsen and Flavor Flav. And wait for it. Flavor Flav! There you go, my friend. There you go.
You guys come to this show for a lot of things. I'm going to stop screen sharing because this could get ugly.
You didn't know you were going to go down this rabbit hole today. This is the best part of our show. We do not know what the hell is going to happen 38 minutes into it. And here we are. We've gone from somehow Anthony Davis, Samuel Jackson, Unbreakable. This is the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon going on right here. Let's bring it back onto the track. Let's bring
Heroes. I got to give a shout out to Heroes for Sale.
Tyler Hero. He asked for a $160 million contract. Did you see that? Different heroes. You talk about a different hero.
You know the word extra, he's too extra for me. Like that's what he is. Like he does too much.
You're using extra in a bad way.
Yeah, it's too much. Like, dude, just play. Just play for a few years and do your thing. I know you had some newfound success with Bubble Hero, deservedly, but just do your thing, man. You're doing a little bit too much, and it's turned me off. And I mean, you know how much I supported Tyler Hero. And
pump and dump. You're a pump and dumper. You bought all the hero cards. You talked about Tyler Hero, and then you dumped.
I got left holding the bag on Tyler Hero.
Pump and dump.
It was probably the most frustrating thing for me. It was the base prism. I bought a ton of his prisms. I bought them so good, man. I bought them so early, but PSA held them as they rightfully should. for 18 months, and when I got them back, it was less than the actual cost of the card. Forget the grading.
You had to pay people to take those cards, but
I
we got
did.
them back.
So no, that one sucked. It was like being right and wrong. But that's one of the cool lessons about cards. Like it's not enough to just be right on the player. There's more to it. There's nuance. That's why the successful people in this space. It's not like they just like got lucky. There's luck's a part of it. Skill's a part of it. Experience is a part of it. Money management is a part of it. So it's all that. I think it was a really valuable lesson to learn early on too.
Yeah, especially coming off of hitting Zion early and winning on Zion, then rolling it into Tyler Hero. It was it's lesson learned, man.
Zion to Kobe rookies, dude. I rolled Zion money into Kobe rookies, which crushed. But yeah, absolutely. Any final things? We cap it at 40 minutes. Been a long week. Tomorrow, dude. All hopefully, knock on wood, smooth sailing. Moved in. Kind of back to the normal rhythm. Anything that's top of mind for you before we wrap?
No, I mean, listen, I posted a short video about the Lewis Hamilton Futera card. Obviously, guys, take a look at that. I don't really have a point there. It was just kind of asking you guys, what you thought about it, and there may be nothing, crazy, but that card, holds a special place in my heart because I brought it up. That you can take a look at my timeline. There's videos about it. I talked about it before that first sale ended. I'm getting a lot of DMs about it, and basically, what people are telling me is that it might be being put up for sale because the card itself is not as rare as people might have thought it was previously, and that it turns out that a couple of people have a bunch of them in Australia. Somebody told me there's going to be a whole set of them, on display at National. Somebody meant. I mean, these is all just some just messages that I'm getting DM wise. So there's nothing nefarious being alleged. It's just pointing out the facts of a card sold as a pop 1, then pop 2, one sold right after, and then now the same one that originally sold literally like 3.5 months ago is now up for sale again. I've done this. I've bought cards and then sold them. I bought cards and then sold them at a loss because I was looking for liquidity. I was looking to get into something else. It's very possible that that's what's going on.
New information's come out.
New information about there's more of them. There's a lot to it. It's just that.
Dude, more than likely people listen to our show.
Maybe.
No, but I'll tell you guys. I'll remember this episode from day one because I think it was. I can't remember the timeline of when it happened, but I remember. Last year's National, Sasha and Lou, and a lot of – so sorry that I kind of called names out. I apologize if that's not your thing. But a lot of people were buying Formula One. And was it 2020, like Sapphire? Was that the thing?
There was yes. There's a Sapphire. And also people were looking for Dynasty back then too.
So they were – and this was so hot, And everyone's buying Lewis Hamilton, paying these extravagant amounts. I think it was like $100,000 price tags. And Katie says – guys, this was still when we were doing plays. So, guys, if we're paying this much for Lewis Hamilton's 14th year card, what do you think his rookie card is? Andrew, can you please go to eBay? It's not a card you're going to find often. This is a quote. Think about how this sunk into it. It's not a card you're going to find a lot on eBay. Definitely not a ton graded in a high condition. Would you type in Lewis Hamilton Futera? It's a screen share. I remember that episode.
Yeah. And then it's over $312,000.
Yep.
But it turns out I believe there's probably more of them out there. I don't know the answer, but take a look. That card, the story on that one is still to be written. When auctions come out, I look at them. When there's previews, you name it. So that was the first thing I saw in the auction preview. And I'm like, wow, this is the same serial number. So
it's also important to understand who, not like who the buyer is. Like, you very much, your niche, your MO is cards that have cycled through a few times where you're not a buyer of, dash.
I don't like setting records on card. I don't like, I'm going to be the price discovery. Yeah. I'm more of this thing's been discovered 3 times over and maybe I'm going to find it when people are, maybe liquidating or whatever it is. And
correct.
Maybe try.
I've seen this cycle a few times. This is a goat of the game. This is his true rookie in the best possible condition. And I know there's not going to be a tremendous add to the population. That is your MO. So when you as for that being your MO, what you're able to do is spot when something fits in that MO, but it shouldn't. Right. And that was, you're not out here, you're not buying like these beautiful, shiny out of 4, whatever, you don't, that was never your game. You're starting to look at it, but like, that was never your game. So I respect that one was called early by you. And I'll remember that episode for my life.
Listen, I mean, I happen to like the Futera cards. I have a Nicky Lauda at PSA right now. I mean, I don't know if that's particularly rare. It's not a rookie. I mean, he has cards in the 70s. But yeah, I mean, it's fun to add stuff like that to your PC. Yeah, I mean, that's one that's on my brain. I'm making funny videos. Lamim sends messages every now and again with like laughy faces, and I tell him, I'm just trying to be him, but I'm like, him light. Lamim
is, you guys need to realize, like, Lamim puts out 3 to 4 of these a day, and he's been doing it basically every single day since anyone in this hobby was creating. Like, I think it was 2020, early 2020.
I mean, maybe even earlier. The meme I put up about last year.
Guys, go back and listen. We had Lamim on the show.
Oh yeah, we did. The meme I put up about the guy in the pool. Last year for 6 months of 2021, I had a 7-figure PC. A little country music in the background. Somebody messaged me today and said that they're friends with the guy in the meme.
That's hilarious.
And he said, I can get you a signed copy. And they're like, wait a second, I might as well just get a signed copy for myself. I was like, I'll take it. Let's go.
So, a little alpha for you guys on F1. There's am I saying this right? Ayrton Senna?
Ayrton Senna, yeah.
Senna. So Patrick Bet-David, one of his best friends, he got him a signed poster of Ayrton Senna. And BBD loves this guy so much he named his daughter after. So
I think his rookie is like 1984, maybe. I mean, some of these, there's some really random, cards out there, of some of these guys. People,
you know how early this guy is, Cage? So my grandma used to smoke Marlboro. And on Marlboro packs, there was like that thing on the side that you like ripped off. You'd save them and you'd redeem them for points. This guy's entire car was decked out in Marlboro.
They were called Marlboro Miles.
Yeah.
That's what they were called, the Miles. I had an awesome duffel bag I got from that.
The duffel bags, right? And dude, this guy's car is entirely like Marlboro. I guess this is when cigarettes were still cool and you would smoke on planes and stuff. Dude, we would have so many of these Miles. She passed away. Don't fucking smoke cigarettes. Smoke that reaper. No, not financial advice.
Well, I mean, listen, somebody did mention that on the Whatnot stream today.
What's that?
Talk about cigars and cigar night, and they said, "Hey, are your cigars going to be fancy, or can I open them up and enhance them?" And I said, "Andrew's going to have you covered."
Dude, I roll the best. I swear to God, like when Snoop was inflation, I paid my guy good. I was like, I think I'm pretty good. All right. But here's the thing. I need tools. There's guys like Philly. I lived. They'll get a backwoods. They'll crack it while walking and disperse over the right shoulder or the left shoulder. Walked 47 yards and it's already done. I'm more like cut it perfectly. Got to be the right size. Looks nice in the freezer. You don't I don't think it does anything, but it's like a nice wine, you know.
You don't take any shortcuts. You don't buy cones.
No.
Never do the cones. All right.
Game.
No.
White grape games are the best.
No flavor, like a little grape.
White grape game. White grape games.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure the game was the one that put those out. And the game is the best Madden player in the world at one point.
Well, it's got a good name for it. You gotta love it. All right, well, listen, that's been 50 minutes of fun. I don't know. Ask your dad. He's the only one who's not confused right now. Thank you all for listening to another episode. Take care, everybody.
Tigers and Bronzo My. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So, as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luca Nation.